Hi everyone, welcome back to TBD. Today we're going to be talking about the Metaverse and why I think Microsoft and Epic are positioned to win the Metaverse race. So first, let's try to define what the Metaverse is. When most of us think of the Metaverse, we think of Ready Player One and the Oasis, a fully immersed virtual world where we can be whoever we want to be and relive some of our favorite nostalgic moments. According to Wired, the Metaverse is pretty synonymous with cyberspace. So then the question is, what is cyberspace? So cyberspace is any perceived physical space in the digital world. And a good way to tell whether something meets the threshold for cyberspace is how we talk about it. Language is a key indicator. So for example, I need to get to the Zoom meeting on time, or I am jumping into VR chat to talk to strangers, and I need to go to Wikipedia to get some somewhat accurate information for my high school geography project. The human perception of time, space, location, and destination is what constructs cyberspace. So another way of putting it is, cyberspace is an emergent property of the collective human perception of digital space. Okay, that was pretty easy. So then what is the Metaverse? So the Metaverse is a more advanced, more realistic, and in a way, an attempt at a more human and real-world connection to these virtual spaces. The ultimate vision is a singular virtual space that ties all other virtual worlds together and connects these worlds to the real world via social and economic ties. Okay, so now we have a basic understanding of what the vision of the Metaverse is. Let's take a look at why I think that Microsoft and Epic are way ahead of companies like Facebook, aka Meta, and all of the various startups and well-funded companies that are trying to race to the Metaverse. So we can look at what the Metaverse needs in order to meet current public expectations, and that is to be accepted by the masses in order to be a viable product. So it needs to have a perceived space in the digital world. Now, that's pretty easy to manufacture, so that's going to be a given for both organizations. It needs to be immersive and feel like a more human experience. It needs an internal economy or a monetary policy that is driven by the user base that has a connection to the real world economic system. And lastly, it needs an emergent social hierarchy or social contract that the user base voluntarily abides by. So let's look at both Epic and Microsoft, their recent business activity, and the properties they already own. I want to start with Epic, and specifically Fortnite. Most people above the age of 30 know Fortnite as a free-to-play battle royale shooter, which our children are always asking us to buy V-Bucks for. But wait, what are V-Bucks? V-Bucks are Fortnite's virtual currency that generated $5.8 billion in revenue in 2021 for Epic Games, and that's after Fortnite was banned from Apple's App Store. Let's be honest, that is an absurd amount of money to generate from cosmetic-only items. So how are they consistently generating billions of dollars from a battle royale? Well, Fortnite is no longer a battle royale. It is, but it's so much more.
What? Fishing and quests? I thought we were playing a multiplayer shooter. What is the goal here?
Hey, what's up, guy? It's me, the guy. Got a special mission for you. Ariana Grande's holding Naruto, Rick Sanchez, and Kylo Ren at gunpoint. Need you to go over there and figure something out.
It's a museum of pop culture. It's an amusement park. It's a concert hall. It's an interactive movie and music experience. And it's also a fishing simulator. So with all of these activities that you and your friend are participating in and events, you probably want to look your best. Or you might want to be your favorite celebrity, like Ariana Grande or Dwane the Rock Johnson. Or maybe you're one of the lucky few who got a Travis Scott avatar pre-Astroworld when he was removed from the V-Bucks store indefinitely. Or maybe you just want to dance. So now let's turn our attention to Microsoft. Phil Spenser is a mad lad, as my kids would say. Since 2014, he has been making moves that at first baffle the industry and then immediately reveal their genius. Mr. Spenser decided Xbox was not a console, but a platform, and he does not care what device you pay for your Xbox games on. His core mantra was more games in the hands of more people.
Team Xbox is on a mission to bring the joy and community of gaming to everyone on the planet.
With that driving philosophy, he brought us Game Pass in 2017. Game Pass is a very inexpensive subscription service that, rather than Google and Sony's failed streaming attempts, allows you to locally install any game from their massive library. In another industry-shaking move, Phil recently announced that all AAA releases from all Microsoft studios will be available on Game Pass day one. Not a demo, not a paid beta, the whole game. This cheap-to-play model boosted Sea of Thieves to new heights and single-handedly saved Fallout 76 from disaster. This brings us to the last and most significant piece in Microsoft's Metaverse dominance puzzle, their latest acquisitions. In 2017, Microsoft bought Bethesda Game Studios, the makers of Fallout 76, parent company, ZeniMax Online, for a cool $7.5 billion in cash. They did this right after several major scandals involving a very broken Fallout 76 launch and unfulfilled real-world bonus merchandise. This year, Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard for a whopping $68.7 billion. That's billion with a B. Microsoft is making this acquisition while Activision Blizzard's daily player base is dropping like a rock, and while they're being sued by the California government for breaking employment and equity laws. Not exactly a time to pay top dollar for an organization rife with operational and cultural issues. So is Phil Spenser a video game superhero saving beloved franchises from themselves? Maybe, but let's look deeper into what these acquisitions bring to the table before we crown him the future patron saint of video games. Bethesda is most famous for Elder Scrolls, more specifically the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, which has seen more releases on more platforms than any other game in history.
Introducing Skyrim, very special edition. Also coming soon to Etch-a-Sketch, Motorola Pagers, and your Samsung smart refrigerator.
Oh, that's cool.
A couple of years after the video I just played was released, Bethesda released Skyrim Anniversary Edition again, and tens of millions of players still play Skyrim to this day, and we will get to one of the main reasons for that in a second. Bethesda is also famous for the Fallout series as well, and both of those games share a few key things in common. One, they're massive, immersive open worlds with a metric ton of environmental storytelling, NPCs with AI that have them doing daily routines, and beautiful and sometimes eerie landscapes and obscene levels of attention to detail to accompany them. They also have made these worlds VR compatible, and both franchises have an absolutely massive modding community.
Skyrim has peaked because the modding community for this game is so crazy dedicated. There's an absolutely game-changing mod on the Nexus what feels like every 3 months.
Think of an army of creatives and developers improving your product for free, for years, for no other reason than for the passion of the world that they created. That's insane from a business standpoint. Just think about that additional value that you get to bring to your consumers without any additional cost to your overhead. but that's a side note. This army of free resources fixes bugs, enhances the experience both in the base game and in the VR versions. Bethesda has started partnering and hiring people from this massive and passionate community of members.
And touching your arms in VR and getting fleshy feedback breaks your brain. It really does.
Poke, 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 poke.
On top of these existing franchises, Bethesda just announced their newest IP, Starfield, which boasts over 1,000 full worlds, fully immersive, full of content for people to explore.
Man who sold me this told me that it spoke to him.
Okay, so Microsoft has a huge population of users and is able to create massive immersive worlds where people voluntarily already want to interact and contribute to said worlds. That's a pretty good start, but I feel like we're missing something. Oh yeah, the $70 billion Activision Blizzard acquisition. What beyond the IPs and the 20-ish million daily users could be worth that much?
Yeah, I was playing a game called World of Warcraft.
So are you out there like where somebody's just gaming against you? They have no idea that they possibly are in a virtual world with Henry Cavill? Is
World
that
of
possible?
Warcraft? Yeah, but that's the only online game I play. I'm looking forward to the new World of Warcraft coming out. Alliance.
Enter my own guilty pleasure, World of Warcraft. Imagine you made a massive, seamless open world, and then imagine this world is full of different people. I mean, millions of people. Some of these people are there for the scenery. They don't really like to do the fighting thing. They fish, they cook and bake. They go back over old content to get patterns for designs for leatherworking and tailoring for WoW's active fashion community. They might be blacksmiths or even archaeologists digging through this virtual world for hidden secrets of the past. Most of them do a little bit of everything, going on adventures and quests, and they may engage in the odd scuffle. Some of them are fiercely competitive and compete in professional player versus player and player versus environment tournaments for hundreds of thousands in real-world dollars in both prizes and sponsorships. Pop his cherry, pop his cherry. Pop his cherry, dude.
Pop what?
He's he's a mage. Look behind you, dum-dum.
Thought he was dead.
No, he has an extra life. You have to pop his cherry after he dies. Literally a giant blue glowing cherry.
Shit, pop his cherry. I'm like,
literally huge, giant glowing thing. Imagine that at its peak, this virtual world had one of the real world's largest economies, and whose virtual currency is still worth 7 times that of Venezuela's currency, according to an article by Fortune.com. Imagine a team with almost 20 years of experience managing this world and its economy. If only there was a real-world connection between the virtual economy and the real-world economy. Oh wait, there is the WoW token, a virtual currency token that you can buy with in-game gold or real-world money. It's a way to buy gold or transfer gold between players, and even though it's against the terms of service, you can sell your tokens for money off-market at a discount. The only thing Microsoft is missing is the cultural connection Epic already has. Going back to the criteria I laid out at the beginning of this video, what do we need to have a successful metaverse? We need a perceived space in the digital world. It needs to be immersive and feel like a more human experience. It needs an economy and a tie-in to the real-world economy. And it needs an emergent social hierarchy or contract that people abide by.
Somebody pop hero? What the fuck?
I know who did that too. Oh,
that was not
no. That's all right. Let's go, guys. We're good. We're good.
The first point is a given for both Microsoft and Epic. They have cyberspaces in spades. Epic's deep integration with brands and pop culture, in combination with their innovative online events, have excelled in creating an immersive world where millions of people interact. The internal consumer culture they have created fulfills the need and demonstrates a social hierarchy maintained by the player base itself. And let's not glaze over that Epic is the creator and owner of the Unreal Engine, which is probably the most advanced and immersive 3D engine currently available on the market. Intentional or not, all these factors position Epic as a key player in the race to the metaverse. With the acquisition of Bethesda, Microsoft secured the capability of creating high-fidelity VR worlds. And with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, they added to their already massive daily user base. They acquired the knowledge to manage several massive real-time servers supporting proven virtual worlds with massive user-driven economies with real-world economic connections. To me, they seem to be the clear leaders in the space. If Microsoft were to acquire Epic's approach to brand and pop culture integration, or even better, acquire Epic, they would solidify a possibly insurmountable lead in the race to the metaverse. But what do you think? Who do you think is clearly leading the way to the metaverse? Who do you think is a dark horse? Who is a giant that you think is doomed to fail? Leave your opinion in comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please join us on Thursday, June 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific to continue on in this conversation, as well as a conversation on Web3 and corporate responsibility. Thank you so much. Why fishing? Why is fishing considered immersive? Then again, I can't wait for Elden Ring to add fishing.